top of the the castle, mate, and direct from the top.
Yeah, 100%.
And whenever he comes down to that chaos, mate, that's when shit hits the fan. You don't want to be in the chaos.
No, if the king's got to come down to that, shit's really going to hit the fan, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you lose sight. So right now, mate, you're sitting at the top of your castle.
Yeah,
that's why
definitely.
Everything's coming beautifully to you.
Yeah, it's just it's just taking me a bit to get used to that, though. I'll tell you that it was hard work.
100%. Yeah, I get it. Boys.
Hi, boys.
G'day, brother. Hello.
Quick thank you for sharing your partners and wives' details with me. That was really wonderful. We really appreciate that. So thanks.
Sure.
How were they? What's the goss?
What's the goss? Straight at that. Wants to know what the goss. They all seem wonderful.
Good.
Just
Fee was panicking, I've got to tell you. What the fuck they? What the fuck they want to talk to me about? What are you doing? What are you guys doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gonna wait. Cole, I believe, has Cole been here? No. Sorry, he wouldn't have been. No, that's because he's in the office. That's cool. Wait for Cole. Dave's on a plane. Cool. It always looks like Tommy's just like some Mexican drug cartel. It's always blue. It's always beautiful. It's just like, God, is it ever not sunny there?
It's the Sunshine Coast, mate.
Yeah. I'm going to be. Hang on, how far up the Sunshine Coast are you? You're in Brisbane, or are you up at Sunny?
No, Sunny Coast is maybe like 45 minutes north of Brisbane. Yeah, it's not far from like the outskirts of Brisbane. Yeah.
I still don't.
Gold Coast, Sunny Coast.
I don't understand why anybody lives anywhere else in Australia. I'm like, well,
it's a bit slower on the Sunny Coast. Everyone's sort of a lot of older people and a bit cruisier. Yeah.
Sounds good.
It is.
Sounds good. Beautiful. Yeah, it's March here, and I have trees turning colours at the moment. It's meant to be hot. Harry, you guys know Harry Orr. He's over here at the moment, meant to be taking him water skiing and doing all of those things. It's freezing. I'm like, what is going on? We're about to be hit from a storm from Queensland. Thanks, Queensland. Just passing that on over to us. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a good one too. It's dropping a lot of rain, so enjoy it.
We'll get snow. Yeah, that's what will happen.
The difference here is when it's raining this time of year, mate, we're bat winging it, just getting out of bed. You got to squat just to let your ball bag rip off your bloody thighs. It's that bloody muggy. That's shocking. Probably not as bad as where Michael's living at the moment. It's pretty bad over Thailand as well.
From weather-wise, or
yeah, the mugginess, mate, the humidity.
I don't know, man. I think I've acclimatized. I was wearing jeans and a jumper only 3 months ago. It was cold. Not kidding. I was like, I've made it. I'm a Thai. I'm finally Thai. Yeah. It was my goal within a year to try and wear jeans and a jumper. And I thought that's never going to happen. And at night time, I think it was 24 degrees, and I'm like, fuck, it's cold.
Jeez, that's wild.
It's crazy. Yeah. Crazy. All right.
Yeah, it's quite funny. We're at the top of the South Island. We're right up the top today. Was a bit of fresh easterly. Cass and I on a t-shirt, and these people walking past us with puffer jackets on.
That would be me.
It's different climates, eh?
Cool.
There for a sec. Okay, are we still waiting on?
No, that's it. We're good to go.
Okay.
Dave's not here. He's on a plane, and Darius not here.
Josh, I'm going to race the bathroom. Can you just give the guys a quick intro to what we're doing today?
Yes, I can.
Sorry to throw you under the bus like that, mate. Sorry.
Better make sure I'm clued on.
Be 1 sec.
So, a few of the how do we do this in a very small side of space? So, basically, every single one of you have been through a huge amount in the last some 3 years, some 6 months, some 4 months, some a couple of months, right? And Tommy messaged this the other day. He was like, I just feel like I am forgetting so many things, right? There's all these things that come in, and I forget all these things, and everybody's got a lot on their plate, right? It's like, well, how many times do you want to watch a recording and do all the things and try and integrate and everything? And that word is so important. Mike's experiencing it right now because he's away on holiday. Technically, what Mike is doing is integrating. He's having time and space to bring everything in that he's learning, and he's going, okay, cool, now I've got the king site, now I know what I'm doing. So what we wanted to introduce and give you guys the opportunity to is like, we have fire hosed you guys for quite some time. And yes, you guys have done amazing. You've I think on the daily, MC and I are going back and forth like, wow, look at where the guys are at. Look what's happening. Like they're seeing each other. They are helping each other understand. They're picking up on things. They are coaching each other. They're bringing a level of awareness that is just awesome to witness. And so we wanted to offer an opportunity and a direction and a container to help you guys with the integration. How do we, with all these things that we've learned, how do we make sure that we're not missing stuff like Tommy's kind of alluded to? How do we help you integrate that? And how do we help you then walk into what you're about to step into with the ability to have the maximum outcome possible? Because you guys in MC's already shared this. You've chosen this initiation. You've stepped into it. And as soon as you said yes, it started. And it's probably just been a little thing sitting in the back of your head because life's been going on and it's busy and all those sorts of things. And that's cool. It's totally fine. It's still going to be amazing. However, we want to maximize everything you're learning in the Luminary and everything that's coming forward to you in the next couple of months. So hence why we popped this call on. A little bit late notice for you guys, but I really appreciate how well you guys organize yourselves and got here as well. So I really want to honor that as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for that. Yeah, so tonight is light. Tonight for you guys. I look at Josh's, it confuses me. I look at Josh's window and it's like, oh, it's nighttime. And I look out the window and it's daylight. So it's light, but it's about integration. So we can consume as much as we want, but that's knowledge. Knowledge exists outside of us. Wisdom is the embodiment of said knowledge, right? They say knowledge is power. That's useless. Knowledge without action is pointless. It's just mental fucking masturbation until we bring it in and embody it. And the way we embody it is to integrate it. And like every market, whether it's the stock market, the property market, your businesses, they all have seasons. And we get to choose when we rest. Because after every rest, there's a push, right? We want to push in the right direction. So I'm going to share a couple of things with you tonight, which is to basically alchemize everything that we've shared over the last 6 to 8 months and bring it into a nice condensed format. And then Josh will send out a workbook for you that you can just gently work through. So yes, this is an additional call and we appreciate you guys being here. So let me just drop into presentation. Present that. Awesome. Amazing. So this is basically the journey that you've been on for, let's say, 6 to 8 months, depending on when you have joined us. And this is the summary of all of the teachings that we've gently walked you through. Okay. And when I look at this has been the pathway that you've been on. It's the evolution of a man. Yeah. And we've gone from boy, understanding boy psychology, moving that into what is a highly virtuous man or a high value man based on the red pill community. Then we moved you into a virtuous man. What is the highly virtuous man? And then we elevated that into the luminary. Okay. And so this process is helping you become more of the man that you were always meant to be. And then we move into the dovetailed piece of purpose and then sacred union. But that's like walking up a mountain, all right? So tonight, it's not going to be heavy teaching. It's refreshing. It's not a new concept. This is something that's more important. Tonight is the return. So we've walked together through all this. We've spoken about purpose, about masculinity, about relationships, discipline, leadership, finances, wealth, esoteric affluence, presence. All of these things are the things that we've covered off. And with so much coming in, sometimes we forget. So it's really important to come back and revisit that. So we've challenged you. We've challenged parts of you. Some of you have made massive shifts. Others have had moments of clarity or a deeper understanding. And then others have had moments of resistance. Just understand that it's all perfectly normal. Because what we're doing here is not about learning more information. And I've got this belief that we don't need to learn anything. It's just a matter of remembering. So more information isn't going to help you. Becoming a different man will. But before we move into the next stage and the journey of next week and beyond, we pause. Okay, today we're going to look back. Today we're going to integrate. Because, as I said earlier, wisdom is not what you hear or what you learn, it's what you embody. So as we look at this mountain, walking through from boy, high value, virtuous, to the luminary. Imagine a man that's standing on the edge of a mountain. Now, he's lived a good life. He works hard, he provides, he carries responsibility. People trust him, people respect him. And from the outside, everything looks pretty solid. But inside, I don't know if you can see my cursor. Can you see my cursor if I move it?
Yep.
Ah, cool. Okay. What about now?
No.
No, cool. Got it. Okay. Yeah, mate, go for it. Absolutely. Adrian said, can you take a screenshot? Yes. So, you know, by modern metrics, it looks like, God, that guy's done it. He made it. He's got the thing, got all the things. But inside him, he feels unsettled. He feels like there's more in him. Maybe it's more clarity. Maybe it's lacking fire, or he wants more depth, or maybe more purpose, but he doesn't know how to access it. So one day he hears about this path into a mountain. Not many people walk this path. It certainly doesn't promise any level of comfort, but it does promise something else, a transformation. Now, you can't walk this path casually. If you decide to enter the mountain, you must be willing to leave behind the man that you once were. That's no mean feat, because we identify with that man. Most people that hear that walk away. But this man, the men in this container, don't. They enter that path. And this path has multiple chambers. So the first chamber is competence. The first chamber inside the mountain is where most men will begin. This is the chamber that will ask you, can you become more capable? This is where you must build more discipline. You must learn to structure your life better, and you must learn to take more responsibility. In the first chamber, you learn to build strength physically, financially, and emotionally. And this is the stage where the man becomes a high-value man. The man who is capable, reliable, respected. But you see, something interesting happens here. When he gets to the end of this chamber, there's another doorway. And on that doorway are written some words. Power reveals character. Because capability alone does not make the man complete. It simply gives him power. And so at this point, the man asks the next question, which takes him to the second chamber, virtue. We lead up to the virtuous man, And he stands at that doorway. And the mountain asks him, what kind of man will you be with this power that you've built? Will you become arrogant? Will you become self-serving? Or are you going to become something else? This is the chamber where the man becomes, out of the red pill community, into the highly virtuous man. He learns that status and wealth, the physical body, they don't stack up. They fail. They have shortcomings and limitations. By becoming a virtuous man, he learns integrity. He learns humility. He learns devotion. Then he starts to begin a life with a deeper sense of truth. Not because someone told him so, but because he begins to realize something more important. And he has to find this within himself. Power without integrity destroys a man. But power guided by virtue creates greatness. And once he integrates that lesson, and he understands the virtuous man, and he embodies the virtuous man, only at that point does the mountain open another door. And that door opens up to presence. So the man walks deeper into the mountain. But something has to change here. It asks him to be more present. Because the deeper a man goes into life, the more he realizes something even more powerful. Life is no longer asking him to accumulate. Life is asking him to awaken. And systemically, men are waking up more and more and more, which is beautiful. And they're waking up in ways that society and the feminine were not ready for. But this is where the luminary has to emerge. Because the phrase that power corrupts and absolute power absolutely corrupts, is very true. The luminary is not just a capable man in the eyes of the red pill community or the high value man community. And he's not just a virtuous man. The luminary is something completely rare. He is a man whose presence itself changes the environment that he's in. When he walks into a room, people feel calmer. When he speaks, people listen. When he leads, people trust it. Because his life is no longer driven by insecurity. It's driven by clarity. So when he reaches this stage, the mountain, and for those of you that don't know, the mountain is where the ancestors lie. If you've ever been held by the mountains, you'll understand the magnitude of that statement. And so it's only appropriate, one, this is the analogy that we use, but two, this is where we find deeper meaning through those masters that have gone before us. So when he reaches this stage of the luminary, he understands and the mountain reveals something further and deeper again. And he enters the final chapter, or the final chamber. Purpose. So at the deepest, at the core of the mountain, there is a simple truth written on the wall. 3 words. Meaning, freedom, purpose. Most men spend their lives chasing purpose, but the mountain has revealed something different. Purpose is not something you find. Purpose is not something where you arrive at or you get. Purpose emerges when a man begins living with meaning and freedom. Meaning comes from living courageously. Meaning comes from living truthfully. Freedom comes from living courageously. Now, when a man lives with both, purpose naturally occurs. But just like the ancestors, the mountain has one more revelation for us. The mountain was never the destination. Because when the man leaves the mountain, he returns to the world. He returns to relationships, he returns to leadership, he returns to family. He returns to love, he returns to children, he returns to workplace. And now he carries something that he didn't have before. Not just strength, not just virtue, not just presence, but a presence that allows him to build something even deeper, a sacred union, sacred leadership, a sacred life. So, 6 to 8 months ago, you stepped onto this mountain. Today is that moment we look back and see how far you've walked, how deep you've walked. And it's really important for you to recognize something. You're not the same man that walked in. So running through the phases very quickly of that mountain. I can slide from there. I can, cool. The boy, he lives reactively. He avoids responsibility. This is at the base of the mountain. He sits in comfort, avoidance, and reaction. Life happens to him. The high-value man develops discipline, competency, and capability. So at this phase, he builds strength and structure. The virtuous man has integrity, responsibility, and truth. Power becomes his guiding character. The luminary, presence, clarity, and wisdom. His presence alone stabilizes environments. Purpose is the combination of meaning and freedom. And purpose emerges from a life aligned with truth. Sacred union is the understanding of devotion, love, and leadership. The masculine becomes capable of deep relational devotion and leadership at this level. So the goal of this luminary pathway is to not become a powerful man. It is to become a true man. Power without truth destroys. Power guided by presence creates a life of purpose and devotion. So when you first arrived at that base camp at the beginning of the mountain, many of you came in with similar patterns, not identical life, but similar patterns. You were competent, you were successful, you were responsible, driven, working hard, doing all the things, busy, but you felt incomplete. The fire wasn't always there. The relationships weren't what they could be. The purpose wasn't always clear. And underneath that was a quiet question. Is this really the man I'm meant to be? Many men reach that question, but very few have the courage to sit with it. Because answering that question means you must begin the initiatory work to initiate yourself. It's that tension point, and we know that tension is simply the matter of what is wanting to die and be left behind and what is trying to be birthed through. Tension point. So the initiation is always going to ask you something, and it'll be the same thing. What must you leave behind? What part of you needs to die? So we've seen that the high value man has its flaws. but it's where most men begin and stay. There's some good attributes to the high value man, though. He builds structure, discipline, competency, and capability. He has resources. He has become someone who holds responsibility. Now, these are important, but still boyish. So most men get caught there. They believe that that's the end of the journey. I've got the big house, the nice car, the big business, the whatever we're trying to acclimate to, and they get stuck there. But it's really just the beginning. They're still in their infancy. Because a man can become successful, but is he fulfilled? He can become respected, but is he deeply desired? He can become powerful, but is he at peace? So we evolve into the virtuous man. So this young boy has external power, but life is begging of him to be initiated. Great. What are you going to do with that power? This is where the virtuous man emerges. Virtue is not weak. It's not passivity. It's power guided with integrity. This kind of man has integrity, humility, devotion, responsibility, and truth. He no longer asks, how can I win? He asks, how can I live rightly? Because the deeper a man goes into life, the more he discovers that character matters more than capability. The boy's caught up on capability, the likes, the wealth, the cars, the trappings of life, the approximations, the chasing. When we realize that character matters more than capability, it's from there we can go even deeper. It's really the starting point of masculinity, healthy masculinity. So then we see that the luminary is not just a successful man, and he's not just a virtuous man. He becomes a source of light, hence the word luminous or luminary, the way shower. The luminary understands something that many men never realize. The goal in life is not achievement. The goal of life is presence. Because presence is where meaning lives. And meaning is where freedom lives. Which is why we introduced the core equation of purpose equals meaning plus freedom. Most men, they search for purpose in work or money or status achievements, recognition. They're all approximations. They do point towards something deeper, but purpose isn't your job. It's not a job you do. It's how you meet life itself in every single moment. The man who can meet life fully and head on becomes free. So we spoke about masculine leadership. A lot of men get that distorted as well. It's not about control, and it's not about dominance. It's not about the loud or the projection. Leadership is purely presence under pressure. The masculine nervous system is designed to stabilize environment. Children feel it more than anyone. Women feel it because they're intuitive and in tune with their body. Your teams feel it. When a man is grounded, the room settles. When a man is reactive, the room destabilizes. So masculine development is not about becoming louder, it's becoming more grounded. The strongest men in the room are rarely, not always, but rarely, the most aggressive. They're usually the most stable. And the funny thing with that is the more stable you become, the more it distables those that are not integrated. You see the loudest speaker in the room, the most bravado, the more grounded you become, you watch how unstable he becomes in that moment. Where women and children will flock to that. They'll gravitate that because it's intimidating but safe. It's powerful. They can rest under that oak tree. So finally, we touched on relationships. A lot of men believe that successful relationships are about communication skills or techniques or workarounds. But relationship really comes down to one thing. They respond to presence. The biggest complaint most women have around men is their presence. A woman doesn't soften because you say the right words or you use the right tricks or you use manipulative language or the magician archetype. That's using the dark arts and it works. There's a much greater and safer way to do it. She softens when she feels safety, she feels direction, she feels devotion, and she feels presence. So we now understand compatibility, not just surface level compatibility, but deep alignment around our values, our vision, our devotion, and our energy. So one of the deepest teachings you could take from this is you can't build a sacred union with someone who is not walking in the same direction. Alignment matters. Devotion matters. So for those of you that got pen and paper handy, if you don't, grab one. So today we ask a simple question. Who have you become? Not what have you achieved, not what have you built, not what have you earned. And to make a clarity point there, yes, we ask these metrics of you in the business execution call. We ask you and hold you to account around your tasks because we're in the world, but we're of the world, but not in the world. We're both. We still have tasks. We still have to do this. We still drive revenue and we drop into a deeper level of presence and understanding. We are both. Okay, so it's not about all of those things and metrics. In this question, we ask, who have you become? How much of these teachings have you onboarded? How much of these teachings have you embodied? Because the luminary, this journey is not about producing better men. You were never broken. There was nothing to fix. The luminary is about producing truer men. A man becomes true to himself. And when he becomes true to himself, under this luminary journey, when he becomes true to himself, his life becomes simpler, his relationships deepen, and his leadership strengthens. His presence stabilizes the entire world around him. The world is a better place for his presence in it. And that's what this luminary pathway asks of men. Not perfection, but presence. So that is a little story around your journey for the last 6 to 8 months. A little refresher. That would have dropped some little nuggets back into your memory of like, oh, yes. No, I know. And I'm assuming, I shouldn't assume, sorry. But I know at one point, Adrian and a few of you were actually grabbing that mantra and bringing it into your daily practice. And if that's still going, that will only germinate out and manifest out, and you'll attract in more and more of that presence and energy. So, Josh has got a workbook for you. We'll send that out via school for you to download and fill in and complete. And it's just a reflection journal that's asking some key questions to bring this back into your awareness and bring it back into your space. But while we're on the call, just thought I'd throw it out. And is there, on today's little review or on any of the teachings or anywhere else? I can't see everyone. Where is everyone?
Still here.
I've lost everyone. There we go. I'll keep going. Yeah, any questions? Anything you want reviewed? So this is a light week, and the reason we're doing a light week is we have a pullback before we push forward. So this is like a bookend. We're creating a bookend to close this chapter, to solidify all of these teachings, and then we'll come in with a new set of teachings, new initiations, and a completely different push forward in the next block. Okay, and we break everything down into rhythms and seasons. And so this is to see how far you've come, to see who you've become. And the only reason we look back is to see how far we've come. Then we just fix our eyes forward and keep going in that direction again, of the man that you were always meant to be. So any questions?
Not a question, but I had a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday who's my lawyer as well, but we're more friends than business associates. And we were talking about a lot of things in depth around about what we've been discussing with Blythe and just what we've been learning in general. I mean, he said something to me that which blew my mind, and it just made me reflect on the journey myself. He said, "You're not the man I met." And it was uncoaxed. It was just out of the blue. I put this guy on a pedestal. He's a very good human. But what it made me feel was the awareness of my presence now is the biggest thing that I've learned. I haven't mastered it, but the awareness is there when I'm actually not going in that right direction or not living by my truth.
Thank you, mate. Beautiful reflection from your friend.
Mm.
Thank you for sharing, Cole. Anyone else?
I had a chat with my mate Dan that works with us the other day, and yeah, we were just he was can't actually remember how the start of the conversation went, but the end of it was, yeah, he pretty much saw the changes in me and recognized it, and then thanked me because of the changes that he's making because of being with me. And I was like, fuck, that's cool. So that was probably the biggest pat on my back so far, yeah.
Well done, mate. That's, yeah, ripple effect. Thank you, Tommy. Really beautiful, man.
It's a very pointed question. Who would like to come? I think something that we've all talked about, especially lately. I know Cole and I have spoken about it a fair bit lately. We've recognised it in ourselves, the journey that we've been on. So yeah, it's nice to hear that reflection. You know, I had a similar reflection from Mum a little while ago, where she actually mentioned she didn't recognise me anymore, not the person I was, and considering the relationship that I had with her, that was huge. So yeah, that little journey that we just took us on. Yeah, well, it's to see just how far we have become.
Really beautiful, mate. Thank you, Adrian. Mike, the only one left, mate.
Yeah, I suppose just what I've achieved since I've been on holiday. It's just shown me what I've taken away and what this whole group has just helped me, yeah, just become just different. And it's completely just flowed. And I'm still enjoying my time on holiday at the same time. and enjoying my time with Cass. It's just, there's no words really. It just blows me away.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it, mate. Beautiful to hear.
I might add too. Yeah, I'm enjoying this journey so far. Like I'm loving being part of this group. And yeah, feel like there's so much to learn. So it's it's going to be a long journey by the sounds of it. But I'm enjoying it. So appreciate everyone in this group.
Thank you, Tommy. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Let's go one more thing. I can still remember the start of this journey when I met Josh. I saw Josh on stage and I met up with him on the walk down to the waterfront. Like that was that pivotal moment is still in my mind. Just completely, what the fuck am I here for? I had no idea.
Thanks, mate.
Perfect. So thank you all for those shares. Really beautiful reflections. And as you were sharing, I felt really called to, being a bookend, bringing this to this section to a close. One, to let you know that it's just beginning. There's a long library of things that we can share with you. And I'm really excited because your level of your ability to assimilate, to onboard, to grasp these concepts is allowing Josh and myself to play more and more and more. Our whole goal was to raise a level of consciousness with the men that we worked. The rate that you're moving is exciting and wild and rare. It is rare. And I'm so proud of every single one of you. And I'm getting my needs met. Josh is getting his needs met. In every situation, everyone's getting their needs met because we don't have to play small. I don't have to sit there and go, oh, that's too much, or I don't have those thoughts. And that is beautiful for me. Obviously, I temper it and measure it. I read the room to a degree, but to a degree. But we're getting our needs met. But what we really love the most is we don't need to talk about this group a lot in like troubleshooting. It doesn't feel like there's a need for that. What we do get to share is like, oh my God, such and such is doing, have you heard that? Have you seen this? And it's like, have you seen how these men are interacting in the community that you're owning, which is yours? We're so proud of that. And just to see you all change, like individually, I could probably go, but not probably, individually, I can go around to every single one of you and reflect back what your friends, your lawyer, your mum, your wives are all saying is like, I don't even recognize you. And I've been watching you. Like, when you watch something day in, day out, it looks the same. And I can still see the cataclysmic change in all of you. And that has got nothing to do with us. We just open the door. We say there's a mountain. There's a door on it. You guys walk through, you walk up, you take yourself through it, you have the self-inquiry, and then you stick your chin out when required, and either take a level of self-accountability, of ownership, or go, hey, what am I not seeing? And then you take that feedback on and you run with it. And just if you could, I think it's hard for you to see how far you've come because you're doing it. Like you're just on the trail. You just left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, and sometimes it feels a little lighter. Sometimes, fuck, it's heavy again. But what we can see is quantum leaps in your evolution and change. And all we can hear and what I can feel, and I know Josh feels it as well, is the ripple effect into your businesses and into your relationships, into your children, grandchildren, and everyone around you. And, there's talk of being generational change. There's good talk, but this is. That's what you're doing. Not because you've said, oh, I'm going to be a generational change. Yeah, I heard that for 10 years. I had people telling me that because I used the phrasing and that I have it parroted back to me. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not doing anything. But you guys are. And it's not a badge of honor. It's just this, you've mastered the art of humility. You've humbled yourself. You get about your business. You don't do it for the likes or the other acknowledgement. You're self-validating, which is one of the key tenets of masculinity. So Josh and I are incredibly proud of you. And that's the things we get to talk about. Like, oh, these guys, like these guys, like truly, that's, and it's hard to articulate. We come up with, like, we're very, you know, both of us can talk underwater, and we come up with, like, these guys, like, come on, man, we can do better than that. But it's so big that we come up with something so simple because we can't articulate it. And I'm sorry, we're not, yeah, we're falling short there on our words, but that's because it's very hard to describe. So beautiful to watch every single one of you. And just because we hear it doesn't mean we stop. We forge forward with a bigger push, but we need to rest first. So this will be the first preliminary call I've landed within the time frame. So I'll just take acknowledgement for that. I did relatively well with the women's. They started late. That's not my fault. I was on 30 minutes, but they started late. Not my fault.
We should have factored that in. We should have factored that. We should have been smart enough.
Yeah, we should have. I thought about the leeway, but I thought, I need the whole 30 minutes though. So if there's no questions or anything else circling around, enjoy the recovery week. Give yourself, this is the invitation to just rest. So it really is a recovery week. Think of it like a gym recovery week. What do? 50% workload of everything, 50% workload of reps, 50% workload of weight, 50% workload of sets. Everything goes 50. So go and do an ice bath. Go and do a sauna. Don't do the one at home. Do a bathhouse one where you go actually get out of your environment. Go and get a massage. Do some body work. Whatever it is for you that your thing is, just lighten the load. You know, do the journal reflection. And then give yourself a reprieve, because we will push. And I know what's coming ahead. The next, what is it, 4 weeks, mate, Josh? I think it's 4.
Four weeks today, pretty much.
The next 4, it actually puts it into 5 weeks. The next 5 weeks, potentially 6 weeks, we'll have you in the depths. All right. So this is very intentional and deliberate to give you a reprieve so we can push hard. So enjoy it. You know, eat the good food, smell the roses, drink the good wine. And we'd love to hear your reflections. You know, we'll give you the workbook. Let us know what stood out for you from that. What was your key message that you'd love to share with the group? So when you get the workbook, work through it. It's not a big thing. It's just a couple of questions, but then find the one that you're like, that's a real proud moment. That's a great win. That's a great milestone. That was my biggest learning. Share that into our space and let us all learn through you as well. So amazing 6 months, guys, 8 months, 6 months, 8 months. And thrilled to have you all here. You're honestly such an amazing group of men that I feel proud to walk side by side with. So big love, brothers, and we'll see you soon.
Can I just say one thing, just for Tommy and Mike? Guys, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. The feelings of actually forgetting things, mate, me and Adrian both went through that whole journey. Still do, you know, struggling to keep up with a lot of it. But just keep in mind that it's part of the process. You know, you're being challenged, your neural pathways are being created. This is just normal. Don't worry about it. Do the best you can, and ask plenty of questions. We're all here to support.
Yeah. Yep. Great advice, Cole. Thank you, mate. All
Thank
right,
you to
guys.
Michael and Josh too. Appreciate you both.
Thank you very much, brother.
It's
Thank you.
yeah, I understand we're the ones walking through the doors, but you're making sure we're facing the right fucking way in the first place.
And occasionally need a little
little kick. Yep. No, appreciate that.
Oh,
Thank you, brother.
do it, dude.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful
All right,
weekend,
boys.
gents.
Okay. Big
See
love.
yous.